like YouTube app got updated, so it's trying to get my YouTube app situated on my phone before I start the stream. I don't know how long I'll be able to stream, so we'll see how it goes, guys. What's today? January something, 2025. January 9th, 2025, guys. We're supposed to have some kind of snow expected today. We'll see how that goes. Hopefully it's not too bad. We've been trying to finish our ranked matches. We've been trying to finish ranked so we can get the pickaxe for the rewards. Alright, let's see if we can play some games here before our voice wakes up. What the? No wonder I can't hear myself. Thank you guys for the first like on the stream. Welcome. All right. All right, welcome to the stream, guys. Good morning, everybody. It's your boy Leviathan. We're about to play some Fortnite. How's everybody doing, guys? Let's see who's gonna be our first commenter on the stream. Next milestone for the likes is 2, guys. Let's see if we can get two likes on the stream. Oh man, yeah, this is cold. No freaking way! I almost got him, chat. I almost got him. No. Damn it. I almost got him. I almost got him, chat.
The god hands only stopped and trembled for a moment when struck by the spells. They weren't destroyed. Jitter decided that he needed to get rid of the metal they were smelting, so he unleashed a massive wide area magic. Dark red magic power spread out and golden thunderbolts flashed. Grid moved as if he had been waiting for this and attacked Jitter. Jitter was stunned when he realized that the god hand's behavior was nothing more than bait. Still, he reacted immediately just like an absolute would. He created a dimension in the direction
of he's got legendary
and transmitted it. He surrounded his 2 hands with layers of translucent spheres and stretched out his hands like a flash of light. Jitter was holding Grid's spinal cord and heart in his hands. Finally, he was filled with joy and poured strength into his hands. His face stiffened. Grid's heart didn't pulsate. It was as hard as a stone. A fake. As Randy was captured by Jitter, Grid appeared by Jitter's side and attacked him with the 6...
Wow, there's actually quite a few people in that town. What the hell? My goodness, dude. Why is... I don't know why it takes that long to queue up at this morning. Now we'll try to play builds then, I guess, so we can rank up a little bit. Please add and I subscribe to you. Oh, I thought I already have you on here, bud. Just join in. I am a fan. Make sure you guys drop a like if you haven't yet. Yeah, just join in. And you're not online. Case you're ready for the Godzilla? Nice. Yeah, just join in. Fan. I know I added you before. You needed to just join in or accept my friend request when I sent it to you like 3 days ago. I'm not gonna try to add you, bud. If you want to play, join in. Otherwise, I'm not waiting. Just join in, wait in the lobby. How much V-Bucks do I have? Why? I have enough V-Bucks to keep for myself. 1,400. I have 1,400 V-Bucks. How do you feel about the ballistic mode? Oh, it's okay. I've played it a few times. Yeah, the ballistic mode's not too bad, honestly. I play more Legos, though, than anything else, other than the normal mode. I personally liked it, certainly more than Counter-Strike. Oh, Counter-Strike, the other game, yeah. Yeah, Fortnite's adding a lot of different stuff you can play. You know, getting all different categories and game modes from other games in itself. You know, it's Fortnite, but a bunch of different variety. He's up here somewhere, chat. I can never make it before getting killed. Bro, Lego is sketchy as hard. Yeah, like I play Legos. Where is this guy at? He's just hiding. Got him, boys. Did not know he was right there beside me. Holy. This guy's over here too. Where the fuck are you, dude? The fuck? Dude, that guy's sketchy. Yeah, the snipers are slacking this season. Yeah, the snipers are slacking this year or this season. You've been playing among the OG. Yeah, I play the OG map every now and then. I could actually play the OG map. Not many people are actually playing OG. Eight 8,000 people playing the OG on rank. There are snipers in OG ATM. Is that considered low 8,000? Yeah, I think there's snipers on here. Oh, can we? Oh, okay, we can't roll on this one. What's up, Spads? Nothing like early morning gaming. Yeah, Case. Yeah, I'm getting slaughtered though. Oof. What the fudge, dude? God. Fudge, dude. Damn it. I'm freaking sucking today. Holy. Just not got news that I got snow day today. Yeah, there's a chance of snow for us over here in Arkansas. Chance of snow today and tomorrow. I think the chances are pretty good. Dude, I'm dying way too much. I feel like, ugh.
Reality. Grid's eyes filled with doubt, while Juder's hand broke through the sword dance and stretched out like
Yeah, I'm losing so terribly today.
The two remaining spheres, he could transfer Grid's absolute defense to another dimension. Wait, absolute defense?
I actually downloaded Marvel Rivals. I haven't played it yet.
However, the timing wasn't right. His hands were already touching the chest beyond Grid's armor. Grid's body was pushed back a few steps, but unexpectedly, he wasn't seriously hurt. This was due to his reflexive use of the white.
Yeah, I downloaded Marvel Rivals. I opened it up yesterday and it said error. I was like, what?
Grid was armed with dragon armor, so it made sense that he could use absolute defense. Juder just wondered if he could handle it as well as a dragon. This uncertainty made Juder's position awkward. He could create a small dimension and use it to transmit things. There was only one type of concept or substance that could be transmitted per dimension.
I listen to audio now.
3 defenses, he must have 3 spheres in his hand. There couldn't be more than 4. Then, Juder's hand would pierce the target. Of course, if he released his power while piercing the target, he could deal a penetrating wound, but there was the possibility that his hand would be trapped, so he decided that was a bad idea. Destroying the heart doesn't mean the target will be killed immediately.
Yeah, I said error whenever I opened it up yesterday.
And swung his hand, filled with magic power rather than spheres. The more blows he exchanged with Grid, the darker his complexion became. It was because Grid's absolute defense was sometimes subtle and sometimes subtle. Is it just a coincidence?
Thank you guys for 3 likes, by the way. Next milestone is 4 likes.
In terms of compatibility. The moment Grid understood the principles of Juder's power, Juder would be at a disadvantage. Nevertheless, it was too hard to attack Grid without using his power. Grid was tougher to fight than a top dragon. Simply wielding magic power didn't deal much damage. He tried using spells, but the magic would disperse.
Holy, how do you get that low, dude?
That this was a power
No wonder why I die so easily. These guys just land so...
Beings who fought against Grid usually had bad personalities. The moment they noticed his survival ability was superior to a copperback. They would feel frustrated, their heads would become dizzy, and their anger would soar. But today, Grid had the survivability of an old dragon. Juder, whose composure was his weapon, allowed a rare frown to frame his face. Chapter 1948. The effect of the title First Father has detected Lord's Crisis. Father's instinctive love is activated. Movement speed is increased by 80% for 20 seconds, and the skill cooldown is reset. He met a woman named Irene. He initially married her with an impure heart, and the marriage continued until today. There were so many memories embedded in Grid's mind, each one more precious than the other. Lord played a huge role in that. Images of Lord flashed by like a kaleidoscope. It was fascinating and cute to see him toddling up to him and asking to be held as a own. The first time
I don't have
Lord
enough
called Dad, he felt
weapons.
awkward and overwhelmed. He prayed when he saw Lord playing house with Rebecca's daughters, who were wielding spears and swords. He was happy watching Lord wield a small hammer in the smithy, and was anxious along with everyone else when Lord went on adventures despite his youth. Lord proved to be more reliable than expected once he grew up and stood by his father's side. He was the most precious being. Grid could never lose him. Grid looked around. From this moment forward, everything turned hectic. The group of dragons surrounding Grid was smashed in an instant. The formation centered around the earthen wall erected by Haranbeka, who used dragon words, all collapsed at once. The lower-ranked dragon, who had been exchanging sword blows with
Really? Why did that go behind me?
The 6 fusion sword dance. They thought that the ultimate sword dance couldn't be used for the next 13 minutes. So the moment it was activated, the dragons realized they had made a huge error in their calculations. Moreover, Grid was exceeding the imposed speed limit. He was fast as lightning as he charged forward and slammed the 6 fusion sword dance into the earthen wall, felling the lower-ranked dragon. The dragons couldn't keep up with him properly despite their vision and senses. Haranbeka, who was blocking the entrance, was so surprised that he even released the He didn't
What
care
the
about the fact that the
fudge,
lair might
dude?
collapse and released his full power to block Grid.
Why
However,
is the
Grid
why is
counterattacked
the
his
aim on
weakness.
this thing
He dropped the
suck?
horn on Harambeca's head before Harambeca could reveal his full body. In fact, Grid hadn't intentionally been aiming for this. The horn just grew at Grid's eye level. It was unexpected good luck. This was all thanks to the good luck stat. Of
Dude,
course, Harambeca had no
I
idea
don't
what
like
to
how
do.
sucky
Was he
these
hiding his
guns are
skills?
right now.
Harambeca was shocked. Don't come. Just then, Lord's voice echoed through the space, asking Grid to trust him. Grid suddenly stopped, nodded.
The burst is so trash. Yeah, what the hell, dude?
Harambeca couldn't handle the destructive pow, or the continuous sword dances.
Like I was literally aiming at the dude.
The lower ranked dragons who tried to rescue him were all reduced to rags. It was the same. He had been fighting all day, and his physical strength was no longer at its peak. This was also because he found himself within an old dragon's lair. The environment itself was favorable to the dragons. Their power strengthened by a strange stream of magic power.
Oh, fudge you, dude.
Types of restrictions. The dragons
Some-
had been seriously wounded by Grid,
The
gritted their
hell?
teeth, and fought back. This
Bro.
caused Grid's body to sway precariously. He would have collapsed first if it hadn't been.
What's up,
for
Robotic?
Nephelina
Welcome
providing
back.
him magical cover a few times. Grid, get on me! Nephelina rushed from where she was standing on Traka's head, but Grid remained still. He was a warrior who had overcome all types of crises. Unless he ran out of dreams or hope, he couldn't carelessly consume his strongest trump card. He'd saved up the Dragon Knight effect till the
Oh
end
my goodness,
and dealt
dude.
with the joint attacks of the Dragon Group. I have a bad feeling.
I don't know.
Grid had a hunch. His intuition told
I don't
him
know,
that things
man. I
wouldn't
don't
work
know.
out that easily for him. In his experience, most surprises happen suddenly.
I suck
Even
at the
Lau,
building
who
mechanic.
devised
Yeah, the
shrewd
build.
strategies before doing
Ah,
anything,
my
often
gosh,
suffered
man.
failures due to
Oof.
unexpected variables.
Terrible
In
day.
addition,
Terrible,
Grid was the
terrible.
type of person who followed his heart rather than his thoughts. He didn't have a genius brain, so even if he calculated and planned out his strategy, he would suffer a lot of setbacks. The bottom line was that he didn't believe in himself. Therefore, he ignored Nephelina's warning and fought a difficult battle. Shocking news soon came out of the room, delivered by Red Bull, who was being carried by Zeros on his back. Cabardos is after trouble.
Oh,
It wasn't
my
just
goodness.
Grid. Harambeca's group was also muttering. Many of the dragons denied the news, saying they couldn't believe it. Seeing Revola on Cyrodiil's back made them see the ice dragon as a traitor. However, Harambeca showed faith in Revola. Revola isn't the type to lie. The battle paused briefly. This was a golden opportunity for Grid. He took advantage of a player's skills and various benefits, his recovery speed surpassing even the dragons. He secretly turned on meditation and tried for a quick recovery. He was planning to kill Harambeca, who had lost his horn and was slow to recover. Just then, Bardos lost his heart. Perhaps it was some sort of sensory sharing, but the dragons immediately detected the unusual situation and were stunned. They started questioning what types of tricks Revola had pulled. Don't be suspicious of your own kin. Revola is a great dragon.
Alright, Robotic.
Grid deliberately
Yeah,
sided
join in
with
if you want to
Revola.
play.
The result was significant.
I'm just playing
The moment Grid sided
as much as I can before my little boys wake up
as a complete
from their
traitor.
sleep.
Revola glared at Grid, shocked, but Grid only smiled back softly. Consequently, the dragon's suspicions grew and the atmosphere turned ugly. Step, Juder, the god of wisdom, arrived at the scene. He was expressionless, like a doll, but his determination was fierce. Cyrodiil had not yet recovered due to a series of desperate fights and pouring divinity into Bybin. Therefore, he was defeated without being able to fight back properly. The same could be said for the other dragons. On the other hand, Grid's recovery rate was at roughly 70%. However, perhaps due to his shabby appearance, Juder attacked Grid without hesitation. What is with his confidence? Cyrodiil was of great help to the Overgeared Guild. He possessed precise information about some of the gods, and he told them that Juder didn't enjoy fighting. It was said that he rarely engaged in battle directly and only used magic. Of course, Cyrodiil warned that Juder's overall ability was just below that of the old dragons, but that wasn't enough to threaten Grid. Not even the fact that he had absorbed Cabardo's heart. In fact, the hand that Juder swung wasn't very agile. He was simply fast and strong. He didn't seem to possess too many combat skills. Grid responded with a 3 fusion sword dance that included revolve. This meant the attack would return back to him. The route that Juder used to attack was so simple that it was easy to target him.
Yeah, if you're
Grid
in,
thought
I
he
mean,
would more easily
if
have
you want to join in,
However,
just hop
the
on.
effect of the active skill has disappeared. The sword dance, which should have cut Juder's hand, had no power. In addition, the effect of the equipped items has disappeared. The moment
Next
Juder's hand
milestone
touched the
is
sword,
4
the
likes
items
in the
within
stream,
its
guys,
hold
if you haven't dropped
became
any.
useless. What? Grid felt as if he'd been possessed by a ghost. Is he copying my power? The method of making a target's items useless wasn't common in the world. Grid briefly suspected that Juder had the ability to copy the opponent's abilities. Grid ended up being pushed back several steps. He could clearly clearly feel the touch of Juder's hand on his bare
Victory
chest.
Royale,
He avoided the fatal injury
0%,
thanks
man.
to the quick use of the White Tiger's posture and his stats redistribution, but a chill still went down his spine. I'm glad I didn't lose my titles and passive skills. Just now, the only effect Grid didn't receive was the item effect. The effect of the equipped items has been restored. The item effects were even restored
The
quickly.
matchmaking is taking forever.
Temporarily neutralized them. It was clearly an inferior version. He was slightly relieved and tried to analyze Juder's abilities, but Juder aimed at him again. Grid was wary that his use of a skill would be cancelled, so he countered with a basic hit. Perhaps Juder couldn't neutralize the basic hits, but Grid easily blocked Juder's double-handed attacks in succession. The moment an attack that looked particularly strong came Grid's way. He turned on his absolute defense to increase his defense.
Yeah, reminds me I should get more coffee while I'm waiting. 2 minutes? Yeah. Jeez, dude. Why is it taking forever?
Since the effect was quite fraudulent, Juder's left hand was digging into his side. It was an attack that wasn't different from before, so Grid didn't bother to activate the absolute.
Get more coffee, pause my audio. I'm listening to Overgeared audiobooks. It's pretty good. The last one I listened to was My Vampire System. That was a pretty good audiobook too. But I finished that one. That was like over 2,000 chapters. That was awesome. The ending was like, man, what happened? But I'm not surprised he did what he did at the end of what was revealed for everybody to listen to, up to 2,000 chapters. Now I'm listening to the audiobook Overgeared. Overgeared is pretty good too. It's pretty much in real life, and it's a VR game in a capsule. It's like a fantasy VR capsule game where people can make money and play games, open world, like the real world, how big it is and how vast it is, with supernatural powers and stuff like that. It's pretty good audio. All right. Yeah. Yeah, my vampire system. Yeah, the kid with no powers in the beginning. I'm back.
Decided that he could handle this type of attack with pure defense. However, Juder's power activated and caught him off guard.
Yeah, I finished my vampire system. It was pretty good.
Grid was shocked.
Pretty slow.
Any pain and didn't
Like the
actually
first
suffer any damage.
20 chapters was pretty slow. But after if you can pass the 20 chapters, it gets pretty interesting after that.
Juder didn't bother chasing him. He just stared silently with a rather uncomfortable expression. Thanks to this, Grid didn't suffer
Like,
any damage.
a lot of people have been making like
It is hard to figure
little
out
videos
those
for it.
reports that Grid wanted to see.
The videos that people make for the audio, it's not that great.
Burton had covered Juder's hand
It's
for
better
years
just to
now.
listen to just the audio
He
itself.
determined it was a skill effect that only occurred twice. It wasn't easy to notice because Juder was witnessing a dark red magic power like an active volcano, but Grid's insight stat was remarkable.
But yeah, it was really good.
Even though my body was pierced. I don't know what Juder is up to. Just as Grid was pondering on this, A translucent cover unfolded over Juder's hands. There were 3 over his left hand and 4 over his right. If Grid didn't activate his absolute defense, the left hand would pierce his heart. But if the absolute defense was activated, the same would happen if the attack originated from the right hand. Operating a total of 7 dimensions at the same time was a huge effort for Juder, but he had to take on this burden in order to carry out the attack. This is going to be dangerous. The moment Juder started the attack, Grid grew significantly more vigilant. He backed away, tried to dodge by activating Shuba in short strides. However,
Yeah, I finished that. Now I'm listening to
wisdom tracked Grid,
Overgeared, which is what I'm listening to now.
and used Shuba at the same time to follow.
Robotic? Yeah, you have me.
Perhaps he had a knack for psychological warfare, but he could easily predict Grid's actions. Grid's anger
I've been
intensified
deleting a
as
lot of
distance
people
between him
online,
and
so
Juder
maybe I deleted you accidentally.
He knew Juder's attacks were strange and powerful, but he couldn't understand what gave Juder the courage to keep approaching him. What if I dodge that hand and fight back? Grid focused his whole strength into a jump. Juder quickly caught up. Grid accurately dodged the swinging fists and unleashed a fusion.
But yeah, I deleted like quite a few people because people want to keep adding me. So I was like, okay, yes, man.
Juder felt Grid's breath on his face, but he didn't shrink back. He advanced and confronted the sword dance head on. Then Grid's sword dance was transmitted to another dimension and became ineffective. All that remained was for Juder's 2 hands to pierce Grid's body. Just then, Grid used freely move. He twisted his body ever so slightly, dodging Juder's close range attack before focusing all his stat points on strength and unleashing a fusion sword dance. He wanted to use at least a 5 fusion sword dance, but he had to be satisfied with only merging 2 sword dances.
Look at that.
His opponent was so close. However, the sword dance was unleashed from the
Legendary.
natural order and twilight.
Oh
Power
my
would be
god.
immense. The Dragon Group, who had been letting Rebel's words about helping Grid enter one ear and go out the other, were sad as they watched the battle. They felt a shared pain just thinking about the suffering that Juder would go through. Critical. You have attacked the target's weak point and caused critical damage. Juder's expression distorted as he was cut and stabbed by Pinnacle Kill. He gritted his teeth, almost letting out a scream. He was so startled by the great pain that he had to take a few steps back. Then Grid finally spoke to him. Is this because you've never been hit by me? You are so brave. For a moment, Juder remembered the fact that many powerful beings surrendered to Grid. The fact that among those who lost their lives to Grid was the second-ranked great demon, Amorak. Grid told him, if you're going to take my bones, then give me some of your flesh in return. This way, your suffering will be even greater. The power of the demon to distort all truth. Grid's condition was fairly intact, despite what Juder saw. Chapter 19,
You're winning too, Amy, Switty. You're winning. I just sent you a friend
Juder
request.
acknowledged that Grid's performance had never been inferior to his.
Oh, okay.
In particular, he was wary of Grid's swords. They possessed all sorts of
Yeah,
bizarre
go ahead and join me.
functions and were deadly to the body. They were so powerful that they even rendered the shields made of magic and divine power almost useless. In addition, the wounds they inflicted didn't heal properly. He now completely understood why the dozens of dragons didn't manage to overpower Grid. They probably needed a breather every time a blow hit them, having to constantly change those who attacked. Even worse, the narrow space meant they couldn't take advantage of their numerical advantage at all. I thought that after reaching Old Dragon level, I could easily win against Grid since he wasn't able to beat the Old Dragons. I was wrong. It was a mistake to leave Ashura behind. He had regrets, but it was too late for such things. Now that things had turned out like this, Juder had to overcome the crisis alone. His mind was racing. He learned how to use his power and magic in real time. Since he was an expert at making barriers, he had a plan to utilize them at the right time. Produce. A translucent sphere appeared in front of Juder instead of around his hands, aiming at the sword dance of the charging Grid. Distortion. The sword dance
Thank you
was
guys for
subtle
4 likes.
distortion
Next
and
goal,
reappeared
next
somewhere else.
milestone is 5 likes in the stream.
Certainly, Grid's sword
Hope you guys
dance
are all
stabbed
doing
himself,
good.
the
Good morning,
unexpected
good morning.
attack inflicting great damage. However, since he was accustomed to pain, he just smiled softly. He was starting to understand the principle of Juder's power, or at the very least, a rough outline. He deals with dimensions. He was able to guess easily because he had witnessed Yura's Hell Leap skill several times. The reason why skills and items become useless once he touches them is because they are transmitted in a different dimension. In many ways, it was an overpowered ability, a real headache to deal with. But it was better than when Grid was feeling frustrated because he didn't know
Got
what
him.
he was dealing with. Grid made up his mind and operated the God Hands, confirming that the moment even one God Hand was transmitted, all the hundreds of God Hands became neutralized. It followed the same principle that all his equipped armor became useless when his sword was transmitted. It isn't a single target ability, it affects a whole category. However, the skill is only transmitted when touched directly. The more
Thank you guys for 5 likes. I never played Zero build. I mean, you can play builds if that's what you only play. That's fine.
In fact, he might have been fighting against the strongest existences in the world wasn't useless. After releasing the combination of defying the natural order and Twilight, Grid started swapping and using multiple weapons. For example, while attacking with Twilight, he let go of the sword in his hand just before it was transmitted. As a result, Twilight's classification was changed from equipped item to possessed item, causing Grid's newly equipped weapon and armor not to be transmitted. From the moment Grid started to use dozens of weapons, Shooter became flustered because his counterattacks didn't work properly anymore. As he come up with a strategy to defy limits by power, experience is such a scary thing. Those who are naturally strong relied on their natural strength. Just as human beings naturally walked on 2 feet, they also ruled with their innate strength. Meanwhile, Grid was the exact opposite. He started as a weak person and became an only one god. There were traces of fierce deliberation in every moment of his life. Shooter felt a strange tension as he created a new dimension that surrounded his entire body. The attack range of Grid, who had just replaced his weapon and unfolded the 5 fusion sword dance, was too large.
Oh, no
Grid
freaking
started
way,
swinging
dude.
his
GG's.
dance disappeared. Dimension. Fortunately, it simply disappeared
GG's,
this time
guys.
and didn't reappear. It looks like it isn't easy to bring it back after sending it away. It appeared that the more precise the use of Juder's power, the greater the consumption. This could have simply been a difference in cooldown time.
We can try
Grid
zero
decided
build.
not
Let's
to
try
play
it.
that. Didn't Harambeck his group just
Let's try it
all that
once.
time and ended up in trouble. The battle went on for a long time. As Juder continued to pour out magic, Grid also had to use a lot of skills. Tang, tang, tang. Only after his health had dropped
Good
significantly
aim is good.
idea. He ordered the god hands to forge items, and the sound of hammering was heard. The god hands produced a single item in groups of 10 extremely fast. Furthermore, using the lava that flowed around the area where Traka was asleep, the metals would take on the fire dragon's flames every time it was smelted, turning them red. Juder was suspicious of the sudden process and attacked the god hands with his magic. The god hands only stopped and trembled for a moment when struck by the spells. They weren't destroyed. Juder decided that he needed to get rid of the metal they were smelting, so he unleashed a massive wide area magic. Dark red magic power spread out and golden thunderbolts flashed. Grid moved as if he had been waiting for this and attacked Juder. Juder was stunned when he realized that the god hand's behavior was nothing more than bait. Still, he reacted immediately just like an absolute would. He created a dimension in the direction of the sword dance and transmitted it. He surrounded his 2 hands with layers of translucent spheres and stretched out his hands like a flash of light. Juder was holding Grid's spinal cord and heart in his hands. Finally, he was filled with joy and poured strength into his hands. His face stiffened. Grid's heart didn't pulsate. It was as hard as a stone. A fake. As Randy was captured by Juder, Grid appeared by Juder's side and attacked him with the 6 fusion sword dance. The trick worked. Juder, who almost blacked out from overwhelming pain, let out a groan for the first time. He flailed his limbs maniacally and counterattacked a few times before soaring into the air. Grid didn't follow him because a dark red storm rose violently and crushed him. Every time there was a golden flash within the storm. Powerful metallic magic power spread and neutralized some of Grid's equipped items in real time. Crazy. Did he calculate all of this? Grid couldn't hide his flustered expression. He noticed that the previous traces of Juder's attacks were emitting light. It was clear that some type of magic worked on it to form the barrier of this storm. Its power was immense. Seemingly, a lot of magic power had been invested into creating it. Dominion's intuition wasn't false. Juder's expression also wasn't very amiable. He finally understood why Dominion had left the train. After being defeated by Haig, he wasn't inferior to Grid in terms of magic or his power, but he couldn't fight against Grid head-on. This made him sigh. Then Nephelina's bewildered face appeared in front of him. Get out of the way. He created a translucent sphere around Nephelina. Nephelina released polymorph and even used dragon words, but it was useless. Juder's dimensional binding was a secret technique that easily trapped even a top dragon. Let's change the order. Juder's was strongly engraved on the space as he reappeared next to Traka's neck. His fervent desire was clearly conveyed to Grid and the group of dragons. Juder, how dare you? The group of dragons began firing breaths as soon as they read Juder's intentions. By the time Juder approached Traka, 8 colorful breaths had already reached him. He had to do at least something, so he covered himself with a sphere, reappearing shortly after the bombardment of breaths and placing his hand on the back of Traka's neck. Clang! However, a shield flew in and protected Traka. The shield had just been made and thrown by a god hand. It was only epic, so it was torn apart by a single blow. Still, it had the effect of blocking one attack, rendering Juder's attack meaningless. However, Juder was already preparing his next attack. Clang! Once again, a shield flew in and blocked it. Juder felt annoyed and finally wrapped a translucent sphere around his hand. He ignored the shield and prepared to stab Traka in the neck. Clang! Once again, shields flew in to prevent Juters from doing anything. The first shield to fly and was sent to another dimension, but the shields that flew later weren't transmitted. Thus, they retained their physical force. Since those shields were classified as items made by the God Hands, they should have all been sent. However, this wasn't the case. Jitter was puzzled, but he quickly realized what was going on. Is it because they were completed at different times that they aren't placed into the same category? Jitter made sense of what was going on. In order to effectively block Jitter's dimensional transfer, Grid ordered the God Hands to produce items in real time. He also added the detailed command of staggering the timing of an item's completion. Crafting items was Grid's specialty, so he thought he should do it whether it worked or not. Fortunately, it ended up working. Jitter clicked his tongue and admitted this slightly bigger loss. He squeezed out most of his remaining magic power and added divine power to activate a protective barrier. The shields made by the God's Hands no longer protected Traka. They clung to the dark blue barrier as if drawn in, gradually evaporated. Just then, Grid escaped from the storm and hurriedly unleashed a sword attack. Wave. The sword energy of the wave sword dance poured toward Jitter. It was weak as a single sword dance, but Grid didn't care. He charged with all his might and also performed two. Fusion and 3 fusion sword dance. The waves of sword energy gradually grew and eventually became a tsunami. The overall strength was comparable to that of the 5 fusion sword dance. Jitter's hand was touching the
5
back
fusion
of Trunks'
sword
neck.
dance.
Suddenly, a loud roar shook the entire lair. The lair could feel when its master was in danger and screamed. Boom, boom, boom. The group of dragons repeatedly slammed against the dark blue barrier surrounding Jitter, but to no avail. Not only was the barrier tough, but it was also strange in nature. It drew in any force that collided with the barrier like a magnet, gradually reducing the power of that force. Assuming that the power that hit the barrier was a 10, it felt like the initial 10 was divided into smaller fragments of 1 rather than hitting all at once. Jitter's hand touched the back of Traka's neck once again. This time, the roar was louder. Traka's thick neck, which had remained upright even in his sleep, tilted slightly. Just in time, the tsunami of sword energy from Grid collided with the dark blue barrier, shaking it violently. Compared to the group of dragons attacking all at once, this attack made Jitter a bit nervous. Nevertheless, it wasn't enough. The tsunami of sword energy also didn't immediately exert its power, instead clinging to the barrier and gradually losing its strength, like a flame going out. This expenditure of magic power and divine power is worth it. The relieved Jitter squeezed out his remaining magic power until it reached its limit. As Grid approached the barrier, Jitter even spent his power one more time to ensure that things would end. He thought that by killing Traka and increasing his status, he would naturally regain both his magic as well as his divine power. The same translucent sphere that had sent Nephelina away occurred around Grid. It was a guaranteed targeting skill, one that could not be blocked or avoided. You are isolated from reality. I must kill Jitter at all costs. Grid made a serious commitment as he fell into a bleak, deserted world. Jitter's power was too strong. If he missed Jitter this time, he would have to worry about the aftermath for the rest of his life. How many more minutes or hours passed like this? In a state of panic, Grid returned to reality. Contrary to what he felt, the time that passed was only a fleeting moment. The tsunami of sword energy was still clinging to the barrier. You've already escaped. Jitter's startled words reassured him. This didn't mean that things were in a better state. The barrier between Grid and Jitter was still intact. Grid even borrowed keen insight from Mercedes to identify the weaknesses.
Yeah, matchmaking taking so long.
All his remaining skills
Thank you guys for the milestone of 6 likes. Next milestone is 7 likes in the stream. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Third match queue. Hopefully it goes in.
Are wasting too many skills analyzing Jitter's power when a wave of sword energy swept past Grid's side, seeping into the tsunami of sword energy still clinging to the barrier. The tsunami ate the waves and swelled up. The surprised Grid looked back. Lord, who had just arrived, ran forward, using his sword dance again. It was a sword dance that contained the wave sword dance. Lord's wave sword dance continued to power up Grid's wave sword dance. Originally, it was a mere wave, but the sword energy suddenly overflowed into the sea. What? The barrier couldn't withstand the power, and bigger cracks started to appear on its surface. Father! Lord's cry awakened, momentarily dazed Grid. He came to his senses and reacted quickly. You have formed a party with Lord. You have formed a party with your child, and the effect of First Father is activated. All stats have increased by 8%. The most effective buff for Grid was a stats increase. He distributed all of his increased stats to strength and swung his sword at a flaw in the barrier. It was the Link Sword Dance. There was no way Lord didn't know it when he grew up watching his father's back all his life. He also used Link. Thanks to Braham's acceleration magic attached to him and his shadow manipulation, he was able to stand by his father's side. You were performing a cooperative sword dance with the overgeared prince, Lord. The father and son danced under a mysterious, dark blue light. The number of sword energies grew uncontrollably. It represented the number of connections that the father and son had built. You have understood the heart of Lord's sword dance. Lord feels great awe for you. The skill link has evolved. The moment Juder's barrier shattered,
Alrighty. Thank you guys for 7 likes. Appreciate it.
hateful final words and fell down without being able to endure it any longer. Chapter 1950. Link, perform a sword dance that symbolizes memories. The number of swings and the effect of the attack.
Yeah, finally. Yeah.
Skill mana cost depends on the number of sword swings. Skill cooldown time 90 seconds. Grid frown.
90
Originally,
seconds.
Link was a sword dance that allowed him to dance like a butterfly. The number of attacks were supposed to be proportional to his speed. What did it mean by a sword dance that symbolizes memories? Moreover, why did the number of attacks change depending on the relationship he remembered? Was it telling him to think of people's faces every time he performed a sword dance? The skill explanation is it offended Grid.
Good God, dude. Even on the freaking...
Lord's Link was different from his.
Damn it.
It was more like a buff skill that empowered
Bro,
people.
what the hell?
How did the child feel when using a skill such as this? The more Grid thought about it, the more satisfying it seemed. He also realized something important.
Fuck.
It seems this skill will prove to be cute. You'd have headed to use, but
damn
you
it,
should
bro.
accept that the sword dance had been changed to be
I suck at this freaking game.
After all, this was an understanding.
You know, I had
Maybe
ARs.
it will prove to be quite useful, and I shouldn't worry too much. Grid speculated that every time Link was activated, a
He's
list of
by
friends or
himself. What
NPCs
the
with
hell?
high affinity would pop up. He also believed the shape of the Link would change depending on the person he chose from that list. Originally, this skill had been an offensive sword dance, but Lord had changed its capabilities. Grid accepted that he was able to further amplify that capability. Meanwhile, Graham
Oh, that's his other friend. His dude just came in.
Traces of battle were evident everywhere.
Fudge,
There were thousands of
dude.
them, different in shape and size. However, Graham saw that
Yeah, just join in.
left behind by Juder. Depending on how they were
Join in
created,
before we
these were
start the
fragments
next
of magic
match, and you
that
can
could be
join.
used for large-scale spells. It was obvious that throughout the battle, Juder had calculated
Ah, that was my bad, dude. I
how
freaking
traces
suck.
attack would leave in each area of the
These
battle.
kids, man.
At the same time, he seemed to be very capable since he managed to keep up with Grid for the These traces were something only Juder.
Some of these kids don't freaking miss.
He is the god of wisdom, after all. Graham was deep in thought while trying to cast magic on the traces under his feet. Flames exploded, and Graham's face instantly.
Next milestone for likes is 8 likes, guys. We're currently at 7 likes right now. Thank you, guys.
Already complete and cannot be destroyed on the transfer.
Yeah, some of these kids do not miss the shooting, dude. Like, holy.
Graham shielded Lord, Faker, and Kasim in the shadow before resuming his investigation of the traces. He was concentrating deeply, believing he had to succeed in deciphering Juder's magic in order to become the true master of the title of God of Wisdom. Grid glared at his rapid movement. He could have killed Juder by slitting his throat immediately.
The spam shotgun just really wants me. Yeah. Yeah, that's only on OG.
Prevent the soul from escaping.
That's only on
Thus,
Fortnite
It
OG.
was impossible for him to act hastily. He didn't want to let Juder live. Juder's power was too versatile.
Yeah, you guys can join in.
If he survived, there would be serious consequences for a long time to come. In any case, it's easier to progress if I get the god killing energy. Grid's expression turned serious as the dying Juder sneered. Your apostle
Let's
has
return to
sinned
the lobby.
by magic. After all,
Go back to the
you're
lobby
entitled
before we
to
start.
magic and wisdom for a reason. Based on the way he was speaking, he seemed to have lost all his magic, divine power, and other energies. Grid doubted Juder still had enough energy to activate the magic circle. He
Dude, you
sniffed
level
the glancing
321? What the hell?
Shook his head. The magic circle is brimming with power that IT will work regardless of Juder, as current state. However, this seems to be magic that Juder made in preparation for his death, that I wonder if he is aiming to drag us into the grave with him. Graham knew how great Grid's survival ability was. Juder, however, did not. Grid was just as puzzled as Graham. He realized something. The magic isn't aimed at me. Juder was obsessed with killing Truck.
Level 321. Damn, boy.
The magic circle seemed to serve as his insurance. If Juder died without fulfilling his goal, this magic would activate and bring Truck down with him. Juder was aiming to gain more than the status.
Play reload? I mean, I guess so.
Nephelina, reading the enemy's intentions.
I'd be so
Grid moved
picky,
without
bro.
hesitating. He summoned Nephelina to his side and activated Dragon Knight. His target was now Truck's neck. He was reluctant to kill a dragon. Grid might be cold-blooded, but he wasn't evil. He might be terrible, but he wasn't ungrateful. He had formed connections with the old dragons and developed quite an affinity with them. Still, the existence of dragons was a threat to humanity. He hoped the relationship between humans and dragons wouldn't be pushed to the extreme. We've been through so much, and I even resurrected the refraction dragon. If they thought they also owed him a favor. He wanted to improve their relationship, even if it meant putting
Ready up, dude.
He felt hopeful recalling Nephelina's wish to live with humans, his memories with Unlear, and Crambell's kindness. However, now Grid's heart was pouring with avarice. Jitter was going to kill Traka, and he couldn't let that happen. Naturally, Jitter also understood what Grid's intentions were. He snorted and cast a spell. The lair shook like it was about to be uprooted and turned into a deep shade of blue. Traka had been motionless like a stuffed animal no matter the events unfolding around him. Now he suddenly made
You just grind reload, I gotcha.
killing intent, spreading to all corners of
A lot of people grind reload because it's shorter map and faster.
dragons. A red light poured from Traka's eyes like he was crying. Jitter realized something when he saw this.
I guess he left.
Is this the terrible
Okay.
instinct that was
Well, we're not
inbred
playing reload then.
If even you, an apostle of this
Okay.
is just another actor performing on stage according
I don't know why you left, but
He now
alright.
was to rise to a higher state of being. While Jitter's complicated thoughts aside, the magic was completed. Faker emerged from Lord Shadow, summoned Shadow soldiers to form a barrier, and held Lord in his arms. Kassim
Alright,
tried
Fun
to think
Fortnite. Have a good one, man. I don't know why you left.
Kassim
But,
was once praised as the king of
okay.
shadows.
It'll be what it
They
be,
couldn't
man.
oppose Faker, who was the greatest assassin of this era. He was crushed by Faker's shadow and couldn't emerge from
Robotic,
Kassim
I
cried
hate
out,
playing Fortnite in the
"Demons,
cast.
why are you
Oh, you hurt
interfering?"
yourself one
For
day?
him, who had lost everything Deca. Dogo, the only thing that mattered to him now was Lord. He wanted to curse out Faker, who meddled with his efforts to protect his only student. But in the end, he couldn't curse him at all. Faker smiled at him. Meanwhile, Graham's complexion changed as he also made it to Lord's side. He layered magic
Your
shield
left
over
thumb?
Faker's
Oof.
body, but he still didn't feel safe. He extracted a large
How
amount
are
of
you
blood
playing
from his
if your
heart
left
and
thumb
set up a blood current.
is in a
Lord
cast?
witnessed everything unfold, wanting to keep these memories forever ingrained in his heart. Well, there was an explosion below.
How are you
The
even
ground on
playing
which
right
people
now?
were standing disappeared without a trace, and sound also vanished. The group of dragons, including Revola and Haranbeka, were saying something, but it was hard to discern their words. They were all frightened, their scales and
Ugh.
flesh turning bloody.
Right claw
melting
on
away.
controller.
They were being reshaped into round hearts that were sucked into Traka's mouth. An incandescent light emerged everywhere. Tens of thousands of rocks floating in the air were reduced to ashes and disappeared in this light. Half the lair was gone before everyone could even react. Traka roared and unfurled his huge wings as he was pierced and torn apart by the blue rays of light. He had used his authority as a being of a higher hierarchy to easily prey
Yeah, take
on
it
his
easy.
celestial
You don't want to damage it again
Still,
by
he couldn't
playing.
recover enough strength to handle the bombardment of blue rays emitted by the thousands of magic circles. As destruction continued to spread, Jitter's body was disintegrating into particles. I just want to feel alive in a real world where I can decide my own destiny. That's it. He kept repeating
Yeah.
these words. Words he had never
Yeah, my
told.
wife broke her thumb
Grid charged
before,
forward
like
as
about
he
2 years
between
ago.
Traka and Jitter and activated Transcend. Nephelina released a breath while he swung his sword desperately along with the god hands. Two flashes of black and hundreds of sword energies rained down on Jitter and Traka at the same time. With this, the reward for defeating Jitter was secured without any further
It happened 3 times.
However,
Oof.
the verdict of who killed Traka was likely to be in Jitter's favor, who had dealt more damage. Unless Jitter died outright, Grid was checking the gradually disappearing space with a gloomy expression when he noticed someone.
I don't know what it is with the matchmaking today.
He leaned back and straightened his posture. His gaze
Retarded.
passed over Grid and fell on Jitter. He looked like he was getting ready to cut through empty space. Why? Grid was puzzled because he couldn't guess Crowell's intentions. He suddenly came up with a hypothesis and pulled out his falling moon sword. The pale sword sucked in the light around him. And
I think I got much crowns.
However, he waited. It wasn't like he was in a hurry. Grid silently examined Jitter's condition
4.
while slowly unfolding the linked sword dance. People's FAC. ES flashed in his mind. Yura, Jashuka, Irene, Lord Khan, Crowell, Graham, Mercedes, Hate, Ivan, Damien, Marie Rose, and many more. It felt like looking at the stars in the night sky. There were so many that he didn't dare to count them. Grid instinctively focused on Crowell's face. Link with Crowell is working. The power of the sword dance displays acute discipline. The tip of the falling moon sword, which was emitting ferocious waves of energy while Grid was under the effect of Transcend, flashed with an even brighter light. For some reason, the blue sword energy mixed with gold accumulated at an incredible speed. This made it look like a crescent moon had been placed on the blade of the sword. Crowell looked with wonder in his eyes before moving his weapon as well. Link, Grid fired a beam of sword energy at the air above Jitter's head. Jitter was slowly disappearing, unable to handle the power of the spell. Finally, an ash pillar shot upward. Grid's Link and Crowell's face sword crossed each other as they slashed the pillar. The explosion stopped. The air cleared and sound returned to normal. Oh! Traka's final death noise echoed. Sword Saint Crowell has killed Juder, the god of wisdom, and gained the energy of a god killer. Only one god, Grid, has killed Juder, the god of wisdom, and fire dragon Traka. Only one god, Grid, has obtained the energy of annihilation. Shivers ran down both men's bodies as they exchanged looks. They looked at each other with unconditional trust. Grid was rushing over to Lord's side with two souls, in danger of going out like candles, approached and hovered near him. Grid's frown gradually deepened as he listened to the whispers of souls. Chapter 1951. Grid, who had been scrambling to rescue Lord, excitedly asked, "How did you figure out how to kill a god? Was it because of your genius intuition?" Crowell laughed awkwardly as he looked after the wounded people. Cabardo's just told me. Don't give me credit for his idea. He holds a lot of grudges against Juder for absorbing his heart. Crowell was being overly modest. How many people could achieve killing a god, even after finding out how to do it? If it hadn't been for the falling moon sword, it would have been difficult for Grid to slash through the ash pillar. Two small spheres of light approached and hovered beside Grid as he curiously observed the golden energy flowing in Crowell's twilight. He didn't pay too much attention to them. Traka's lair was still collapsing, its appearance crumbling, and it was unleashing waves of heat and magic at random intervals. He thought that the two lights were just the remnants of something passing by. He was surprised to hear words echo in his mind. "I felt you even when I was asleep." It seemed to be Traka's voice. "It's ridiculous how many times you hesitated to harm me. You never intended to kill me. I guess the possibility is that the insane dragon, as daughter
Double
of
teamers?
Lear
Oof.
Scope, have left quite an impression on you. Why? Did you think a future in which you could cooperate with us was possible?" His characteristic sneering tone came off as completely arrogant. However, rather than showing annoyance, Grid shrugged it off. The strongest dragon, Traka, had not been in good shape ever since he was seriously wounded by Ifrit. Nevertheless, he still displayed intimidating strength and instilled fear in Grid and the overgeared members. Everyone admitted he was a terrifying presence. Grid respected him, so he simply responded with a silent smile. This attitude softened Traka's tone. "I fully understand your feelings. But don't try to convince the old dragons that we can't defy the fate bestowed upon us by the foreign geo.
You killed one? Okay.
It doesn't matter our feelings. We are ultimately destined to act according to our instincts, that if you act as foolishly against other old dragons as you did this time, you will get seriously hurt. Seeing you're giving me advice, I think I can still feel some kind of hope. I'm dead anyway. The chains of fate have been loosened, so that's why I'm able to give you this warning." Traka snorted and was silent for a moment. He stared at Grid, who was looking at him curiously. He continued speaking with some difficulty. "Ifrit's child is still alive. She is the only flesh and blood I have left. The residual fire. That's her dad. I want you to take her away. In any case, if I leave it like this, she will replace me. Is she going to become an old dragon? Isn't that a good thing? Did you even listen to what I was saying just now? Once she becomes the fire dragon,
Where are
she
you?
can only live according to the will of the fire god. I won't
Damn
be able
it.
to rest even when I enter the river of reincarnation if that happens." Grid was taken aback. It was unexpected to see this evil dragon worry about his flesh and blood when he had eaten so much of his kin in his life. Is this implying that Traka's obsession with predation isn't because of his natural disposition, but in order that
No freaking way, bro.
this was a result of the fate bestowed upon him by
The hell?
Grid pondered on Traka's words and nodded. "I understand. I am very grateful to you. So I will do you
Oh
one
my
last favor.
goodness, dude.
You are strangely kind. Come to think of it, your tone is also unusually polite. Is there any point in being rude to someone who is already dead? Anyway, if the number of old dragons increased, that would be bad for us. You seem to feel guilty about killing me, Deadeye. In any case, it's fine.
Damn, bro.
Since you are doing me a favor, I will tell you where my treasure trove is." Traka was cool to the very end. He gave Grid the location of the treasure trove and disappeared. Just as Grid was recovering from the shock, a new voice entered his mind. "Annihilate me." This time it was Juder. Unlike Traka's somewhat excited tone, his voice sounded gloomy. "More than half my soul is already in hell. Hell, so I can't destroy it right now. This means you have to personally go there, find it, and destroy it." He was saying to find his soul and destroy it. Grid was startled, and he didn't know how to reply. "I never imagined the river of reincarnation could exert an attraction over the souls of the gods. Yet he must have been very distressed after hearing the news of gods being killed by Traka. He probably wanted to give them a chance to reincarnate, but he was being uselessly nosy. Juder didn't care that Grid didn't respond and kept going. "Do you not want to talk to me? Well, you might think I am presumptuous. That is understandable. I will give you sufficient repayment if you promise to do me a favor. I will show you how to make a body." It felt like Juder's soul was scanning the god hands. The body creation recipe is a secret method that I discovered by researching the memory of my birth. Some of the information is in Hanul's hands.
I can't believe I died to a burger and a tomato.
love it for what it is now. You will be able to produce clones of yourself. Clones. Grid did indeed harbor a desire to make a doll in his image from the moment he discovered the magic machines. He had the world's most powerful resources and technology, so he naturally tried his hand at it. However, smelting and forming human body parts was
Yeah,
difficult
I
from
knocked
creating
one when I
human
came
body.
in there.
He
I was like,
failed every single time. Not even item creation could help with this issue. He really wanted a body recipe. Just Grid's expression changed. His eyes widened in surprise, and his eyebrows furrowed as if he was displeased. He smiled like he found whatever he was thinking absurd, his face darkening. Grid realized something about Juder's desire to die. Do you know the truth? How can I not know when the goddess is so obvious? I've known for a long time that this world is just a lower dimension created by higher level beings for entertainment. Juder's tone grew infinitely more displeased. In fact, I have many things I want to ask you. However, I'm just a trivia clown who is nothing more than a plaything created by higher level beings that I know that you can't really be sincere with me to TO you. I am not worthy of respect. However, if there is even the slightest bit of sincerity in the heart that you have shown to the fleeting beings of this world, please listen to what I have to say. There was no reason for Grid to refuse Juder's request. Finding a soul at the river of reincarnation was more difficult than finding a needle in a haystack for ordinary people. But Grid was no ordinary person. If he spoke with Black Knight Delegos, he would be able to start his search for the soul as soon as possible. If this didn't work, he could ask Knight to do it. In return, he would receive the body manufacturing method. There was just one thing that bothered him. Did Hanul use the body manufacturing technique to make the Yongbans? That's right. Strange. Didn't she side with Hanul on the off chance that a god killer would be born among the Yongbans? You also know this recipe. Why did she rely on Hanul and not you? The body manufacturing method I came up with is essentially the art of creating a god. Gods can kill gods. This is the goddess rule. Since I am her child, there is no way I could disobey her. Yudasai. On the other hand, Hanul has the same hierarchy as the goddess. After leaving Asgard, he was able to completely escape the influence of the goddess and improve this recipe, that he needed the power of a god killer to conquer Asgard. So he created the Yongbans for Chiyu, who wants to hold on to even the smallest of hope. He had no choice but to follow him. That is what happened. So if I make clones using this body manufacturing method of yours, will I be unable to become a god killer? Grid's doubts were dispelled, only for him to have a new question. This made Juder laugh. You were born in Asgard. You must use the black gold metal for the body manufacturing method. Instead of creating a completely new being, it will be just a clone of yourself. You shouldn't encounter any problems. You already possess a superior concept of God-killing intent, the annihilation energy. Not even the goddess can intervene with this force. Your clone will also possess this type of energy. Grid's expression finally brightened. Juder, who had been worried that his request would be rejected, felt relieved. He told Grid the power of reincarnation is too strong. I cannot hold on for much longer, that if you promise to do this favor for me, I will teach you the recipe right now. Is that okay? Grid nodded. A part of Juder's soul seeped into his mind. Grid, who had lost his body to Braham in the past, was startled. He was relieved to hear about the effects of the annihilation energy. The body god manufacturing method has been acquired. Please help me out as soon as you can. I don't know for how long I can endure the oblivion of hell. Yes, I will come find you as soon as possible. Grid's tone softened. Juder found it strange. There was no way that he, and absolutely, did not know that Grid had deep respect for him. He wondered if Grid would hold a grudge against him. And he was surprised when Grid had not only obediently agreed to the request, but also had a gentle attitude in doing so. He hesitated a bit before gathering enough courage to speak. I want to ask you one last thing. That IT is somewhat of a personal question, so you don't have to answer it. What is it? Is this dimension inferior compared to yours? What was the intent behind this question? Grid couldn't really tell, but the fear in Juder's voice made his heart heavy. He thought about it for a while before coming up with an honest answer. No, this dimension is much better and more beautiful than mine. This place is someone's idea, so it has to be so. That is enough. The fear in Juder's voice faded. He seemed grieved, relieved and proud. He also seemed to be smiling for some reason. Juder's last words left Grid in shock. I don't know if this will help in any way, but the dimension I created changed its name the moment Truck died. The name is made up of characters I can't read, but I'm sure you can tell I'll give you the name before and after the change, so think about it. Juder's soul vanished after leaving a mark on the fragments of some words. The name was indeed written in English, which was something that people from this world couldn't read. Its meaning was rather shocking. Grid's expression stiffened. He thought about it, but he didn't have the time to dwell on it. As he was conversing with the souls, news was pouring in from his colleagues who had left. He put Juder's belongings and the remnants of Traka, collected by the God Hands, into his inventory. Then, he hurried out of the lair. Chapter 1952. The items dropped by Juder, the God of Wisdom, had unimaginable value. Multiple weakening barriers. Rating mythic. Deploy 10 layers of fortified identifying barriers that reduce damage received. Every time damage is taken, the caster's mana is consumed. Cooldown time none. Acquisition conditions.
No freaking way, dude.
Magic glowing book using a chamber. He shivered as he recalled the power of Jitter's blue.
Yeah, one's pretty low.
Barriers
I was just trying to hide it out.
by 90%. The less damage was taken, the less mana was consumed. Grid, with high defense, aim for extreme efficiency. I think I will be almost invincible if I use it. Do I need to learn it? Grid wondered for a bit if he should hand this over to Bran. In the end, he decided not to. After all, he would be able to cast barriers for others as well, not just for himself. Grid didn't find the mana usage that bothersome, since he had a lot of it. Thinking this was for the greater good of his team, he decided to go forward with his decision. Furthermore, Bram was able to create new magic. Bram could just watch me use it and figure it out for himself. Separation of Consciousness book. Rating Mythic. Learn how to use your consciousness. Acquisition conditions. A god. The explanation is so vague. I can't exactly tell what it does. If this was Grid from the past, he would have hesitated. However, he immediately used the Separation of Consciousness book because he realized something. The passive skill Consciousness Extension is created. The skill Consciousness Separation is created. Consciousness Extension LV1. Gain access to up to 4 branches of consciousness. You can cast multiple skills or spells at the same time. Consciousness Separation LV1 can remove and utilize up to 1 branch of consciousness. Multicasting. Grid grinned as he recalled the experience of being able to speak and think separately.
Alright.
I'm gonna... He used several spells and skills. Up to 4 spells or
to get ready for my son. He's waking up. GG's robotic. We'll catch you next time, bud. I gotta get ready for my boys waking up. I gotta get their bottles and change their diapers. Alright, robotic. GG's. Hi, good morning, Jackson. You wanna watch Daddy's phone already? You wanna watch YouTube? Oh, okay. Alright, GG's guys. We'll catch you next time. Yeah, I gotta go. Robotic. Uh-oh. I got you, Jackson.